Greetings. Today we are going to talk about tips to designing listening and speaking activities for virtual and face-to-face English language learning environments. The course is Materials Design. Presentation. In this virtual learning object, we have a series of recommendations to designing some activities to develop listening and speaking skills to students. We will also find the objectives for this project. We have 10 tips to develop listening activities and 10 tips to design speaking activities. Both have recommendations for virtual and face-to-face environments. The conclusions about what we learned during the elaboration of the resource and the bibliographic references taken as a basis for developing this activity. Objectives reflect on those recommendations to design activities that develop listening and speaking skills in students in learning the English language. Elaborate a virtual learning object using web tools. Listening materials tips. One goal of listening instructions is to help learners to understand real-life language. Here we are going to see 5 listening tips to design listening activities for face-to-face environments. Number 1. One of the main ways of communication in the classroom is through listening. Allowing students to hear each instructions or explanations clearly and simply will help the activities to be successful. 2. Accompanying listening with gestural communication will undoubtedly help their understanding. 3. Listening activities must be related to daily life, with a context that allows it to be applied in the daily life of students. 4. In the activity must have clear the objective to be developed with it and must be carried out, avoid noises that distract the student attention. 5. Listening activities should allow feedback, corrections among mates and with the teacher. Now we have 5 listening tips to designing listening activities for online language environments. Number 1. Online listening activities must to be with images or videos. Those get easy and support the interpretation. Number 2. Some activities can be developed with authentic materials, which will provide an approach to the second language and will motivate students' learning. 3. Listening activities must be related to daily life, with a context that allows it to be applied in the daily life of students. Number 4. The listening activities must be clear about the objectives to be developed, and the audios must avoid noises that distract the students' attention. Number 5. The listening activities should be varied, as well as the materials used to help the participation of all students, regardless of their age or the different likes to the students. Now we are going to talk about speaking material tips. The importance of speaking skills seems to be further underlined by the prevalence in many areas of the world of communicative language teaching, a methodology with prioritizes speaking. We are going to start with 5 speaking recommendations to design speaking activities for face-to-face environments. Number 1. Give in the activities the vocabulary to the topic and the pronunciation before starting the activities that the student must use to speak and produce conversations. Second, speaking activities should be related to daily life or reality that allows students to relate their knowledge to vocabulary or new topics. 3. Speaking activities should be developed depending on the abilities of the students, understanding that is a process to get complete by the practice. Number 4. Design activities that gradually promote speech skills such as precision, fluency, and complexity, which are developed while the students are constantly speaking in the second language. 5. Speaking activities should allow feedback, collaboration, and correction among mates and with the teacher. Here we have the 5 last listening recommendations to design speaking activities for online language environments. 1. Complement the activities with the vocabulary and the correct pronunciation through programs in which they can listen, record, or select depending on the vocabulary or activities to be carried out. Second, speaking activities should be related to daily life or reality that allows students to relate their knowledge to vocabulary or new topics. 3. Speech activity should be developed depending on the ability of the students, understanding that it's a process to get complete by the practice. Number 4. Designing activity that gradually promote speech skills such as precision, fluency, and complexity, which are developed while the students are constantly speaking in the second language. 5. Speaking activity should allow feedback, collaboration, and corrections among mates and with the teacher. Conclusions. Designing activities that generate interest and motivation in students to learn and participate during the learning of a new language is a great achievement that as a teacher we must pursue. Speaking activities are an achievement in the teaching learning process. Is through which students show their progress and process speaking, communicating needs or interest is one of the main communication skills. Recognize some difference or similarity in the type of activities that can be developed both in online and person constitute a great advance in our education and learning process. Recognizing that most of the activities have similarity, that's why we can use them in a virtual or a face-to-face environments. Here we have 4 bibliographical references about this topic. These references we can find in the course. Thanks by NathalySaavedraSalazar, Material Designs, Group 26.